Hello, and welcome back to Learn English Unleashed. I'm Peter, and today we are not going to study English in the usual way. No long grammar lesson, no huge list of difficult words, no pressure to speak perfectly. Today, you are going to use your voice. You are going to listen. You are going to repeat. You are going to copy, and little by little, you are going to make English feel more natural. So if you can put your headphones on, take a comfortable seat, and get ready to speak with me. Because this episode is not just something you listen to, it is something you do. Let me ask you something. Can you understand English, but still struggle to speak it? Maybe you watch English videos. You understand the main idea. You know many words. You can read a message. You can even understand some native speakers. But when somebody suddenly says, "Hey, how's it going?" your mind goes quiet. You know the words, but they do not come out quickly. And sometimes you know exactly what you want to say. You even know the sentence in your head, but your mouth feels slow. Your pronunciation feels uncomfortable. And you start thinking about grammar. Then you translate. Then you think again. And by the time you are ready, the conversation has already moved on. If that sounds familiar, stay with me. Because there is a simple reason this happens. And there is a practical way to train it. You do not need to move to America. You do not need to live in Britain. You do not need an English-speaking family. And you do not need 5 free hours every day. You can start with 2 minutes. Yes, 2 minutes. But there is one important difference. You cannot just listen to English. You need to follow it with your own voice. That is where shadowing comes in. And by the end of this episode, you will know exactly how to use it, not as a complicated study method, but as part of your normal day, while making breakfast, while getting ready, while walking, while waiting for food, while driving, while cleaning, even during those tiny moments when you normally do nothing. So today, we are going to turn those small moments into speaking practice. And I want you to remember one sentence. You don't need more English around you. You need to use the English you already have. Let's begin. Before we start, there is one rule for today's practice. Please do not try to sound perfect. Seriously, don't. If your pronunciation is not perfect, keep going. If you forget a word, keep going. If your sentence sounds a little strange, keep going. If you make a grammar mistake, keep going. Because today we are training something deeper than grammar. We are training your brain, your ears, your mouth, and your speaking rhythm to work together. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. You can read about bicycles for 10 hours. You can watch videos. You can memorize safety rules. But eventually, you have to get on the bicycle. Speaking English is the same. At some point, you have to open your mouth. And today, we are getting on the bicycle. A few months ago, imagine a learner named Daniel. Daniel had studied English for years. He knew a lot. Really. He could understand news stories. He could read articles. He could recognize many expressions. But Daniel had one problem: speaking. One evening, he joined an online conversation. The teacher asked him a simple question: "What did you do today?" Daniel knew the answer. He had gone to work. He had stopped at a supermarket. He had waited in traffic. He had cooked dinner. Nothing complicated. But he started thinking, should I use past simple? Is this sentence correct? What is the right word? Maybe I should say it another way. 5 seconds passed. Then 10. The teacher smiled. No rush. Daniel finally said, "I went work." He stopped. He knew that wasn't right. So he corrected himself. "I went to work." Then he continued. But every sentence felt like a small exam. After the conversation, Daniel said something interesting. "I know English, but I don't feel like I can speak English." And that sentence is important, because many learners think the problem is knowledge. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes the problem is access. You have English inside your brain, but you haven't trained yourself to bring it out quickly. That is exactly what we're going to work on. So, what is shadowing? Maybe you've heard the word before. Maybe you haven't. And maybe you think it means listening to a sentence, then repeating it later. That's part of it. But real shadowing is more interesting. Imagine I say, "I'll be there in a few minutes." You don't wait 10 seconds. You don't write the sentence down. You don't translate it. You listen, and then follow my voice as closely as you can. "I'll be there in a few minutes." You copy the sound, the speed, the pauses, the stress, the rhythm, the feeling. You are not simply repeating English. You are following English. That's why it is called shadowing. Your voice becomes like a shadow following another voice. And here's the interesting part. You don't have to understand every single detail before you start. You can begin with short phrases. Very short phrases. Then slowly, you make them longer. Your first micro challenge. Let's test it. Don't worry about pronunciation. Just listen first. Here is the sentence. "I'm running a little late." Listen. "I'm running a little late." Now, your turn. "I'm running a little late." Again. "I'm running a little late." One more time. But this time, don't say every word separately. Connect them. "I'm running a little late." Good. Notice something. We are not saying, "I am running a little late." Natural English moves. "I'm running a little late." That movement, that connection, is one of the things shadowing trains. Why your English may sound slow? Now let's talk about something many learners don't realize. You may know the right words, but still sound less natural. Why? Because natural speech isn't just vocabulary. It has rhythm, stress, linking, pauses, intonation, and ready-made phrases. For example, a learner may say, "I would like to ask you a question." That sentence is correct. But in everyday conversation, you may also hear, "Can I ask you something?" short, natural, easy, or instead of, I am very tired because I worked for many hours today. A person might say, I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. That is not about using complicated vocabulary. It is about learning how English naturally moves. And shadowing helps you hear that movement. You do not need to speak fast to sound natural. Read that again in your mind. You do not need to speak fast. Fast English is not the goal. Comfortable English is the goal. If you speak clearly, with natural pauses, with connected phrases, and without stopping every 2 seconds, you already sound much more natural. So don't chase speed. Chase flow. Speed comes later. From today, I want you to think about English practice differently. Don't ask, how many words did I memorize? Ask, how many English sentences did I actually use? Don't ask, how long did I study? Ask, how many minutes did I speak? Don't ask, did I understand everything? Ask, did I actively follow the speaker? That small change can completely change your practice. Let's start with the first major method. I want you to rename something in your life. Instead of calling it free time, call it English time. You probably have more English time than you think. Waiting for coffee, waiting for an elevator, walking to the bus stop, standing in a queue, preparing food, folding clothes, getting ready in the morning, cleaning your kitchen, waiting for a friend. These moments may only be 2 or 3 minutes. But 2 minutes is enough to practice. And this is important. You don't need to create a completely new schedule. You can attach English to something you already do. That's much easier. The 2-minute morning routine. Let's create your first routine. It takes 2 minutes. That's it. Minute 1. Listen. Choose a short English clip. Not 20 minutes. Not 1 hour. Just a short section. Listen carefully. Don't repeat yet. Just notice. How does the speaker begin? Where does the speaker pause? Which words sound stronger? Which words connect? For example, I didn't expect it to be this busy. Listen. I didn't expect it to be this busy. Again. I didn't expect it to be this busy. You may notice that natural speech does not sound like a collection of separate words. It sounds like one moving line. Minute 2. Shadow. Now play the same sentence again. And follow it. I didn't expect it to be this busy. Again. I didn't expect it to be this busy. Now try to copy the rhythm. I didn't expect it to be this busy. Excellent. That's your first 2-minute session. And tomorrow, you do it again. Why short practice works. You may be thinking, Peter, 2 minutes isn't enough. I understand why you think that. If you imagine learning English as studying, 2 minutes sounds tiny. But shadowing is skill training. Imagine going to the gym. Would doing one difficult exercise once make you strong? No. But doing a small amount consistently over weeks and months changes your body. Speaking works in a similar way. The goal isn't to have one giant English day. The goal is to create many small speaking moments. 2 minutes today, 3 minutes tomorrow, 5 minutes later, then 10. Your brain starts getting more comfortable with the process. Micro challenge. Let's do another one. Listen. Give me a second. Your turn. Give me a second. Again. Give me a second. Now imagine you're cooking. Something is boiling. Your phone rings. Someone asks you a question. You say, "Give me a second." Again. Give me a second. Now imagine you're opening a door while carrying bags. Someone says, "Are you coming?" You say, "Give me a second." Excellent. Now the phrase has a situation. And that matters. Because we don't want English to live only inside your notebook. We want English connected to real moments. Context makes English easier. Think about this. If I simply tell you, "Put off," you may memorize it. But what if you hear, "Let's put it off until tomorrow"? Now you have a situation. You understand the feeling? Something was planned, but you're deciding to delay it. That phrase becomes easier to remember. So when you shadow, don't just repeat sounds. Imagine the scene. Who is speaking? Where are they? Why are they saying this? What happened before? What happens next? Now English becomes a small movie, and your brain remembers movies better than isolated lists. Mini story, The Missed Train. Let's imagine another learner. Her name is Maya. One morning, Maya is late. She leaves her apartment quickly. She walks to the station. She checks the time. Oh no! The train doors close. She misses it. Her friend calls, "Where are you?" Maya says, "I missed my train." That's a perfect shadowing sentence. I missed my train. Again. I missed my train. Now imagine the scene. You're standing on the platform. The train is leaving. You look at the clock. You say, "I missed my train." You don't need a grammar lecture. The situation teaches you the sentence. Now maybe the next sentence is, "I'll catch the next one." Listen. I'll catch the next one. Your turn. I'll catch the next one. Again. I'll catch the next one. Now put the two together. I missed my train, but I'll catch the next one. Your turn. I missed my train, but I'll catch the next one. Excellent. That is shadowing with context. The 3-layer method. From now on, I want you to use 3 layers. Layer 1, hear it. Listen. No speaking. Notice the sound. Layer 2, follow it. Repeat immediately. Don't wait too long. Follow the speaker. Layer 3, own it. Now use the sentence in your own situation. For example, I missed my train. Maybe your situation is different. I missed the bus. Or, I missed the appointment. Or, I missed the last call. Same structure. New life. That 3rd layer is where passive English becomes active English. A 5-minute shadowing routine. Let's make it slightly harder. This routine takes 5 minutes. Minute 1. Listen. Choose a short clip. Listen without speaking. Minute 2. Listen again. Notice rhythm and pronunciation. Minute 3, shadow. Repeat with the speaker. Minute 4, shadow again. Try to sound smoother. Don't chase perfection. Minute 5, personalize. Take 2 sentences and make them about your life. For example, I've got a lot to do today. You say, I've got a lot to do today. Then, I've got a meeting this afternoon. Or, I've got some errands to run. Now, you're not just copying English. You're adapting it. There is one mistake I don't want you to make. Don't choose material that is far too difficult. If every sentence contains words you've never heard, you will spend the whole session trying to understand. Shadowing becomes frustrating. For A1 learners, choose very short, clear sentences. For AR, choose short conversations. For B1, start adding natural, everyday conversations, stories, interviews, and faster speech. But even at B1, you don't have to understand every word. Your goal is controlled difficulty, not confusion. Chase the rhythm, not every word. Now we reach something powerful. Many learners try to pronounce every word separately. That can make English sound stiff. Native speech is connected. For example, what are you going to do? A learner may carefully pronounce, what are you going/do? But everyday speech can sound more connected. What are you going to do? You don't have to copy slang immediately, but you should hear the rhythm. The important thing is not to force a fake accent. We are not trying to make you become someone else. We are training your ears to notice how real speech flows, shadowing the emotion. Here's something even more interesting. Don't only copy pronunciation, copy the emotion. Imagine I say, seriously? The meaning changes depending on how I say it. Surprised. Seriously? Annoyed. Seriously? Excited. Seriously? Doubtful. Seriously? Same word. Different voice. So when you shadow, listen to the speaker's attitude. Are they relaxed? Excited? Confused? Frustrated? Friendly? Tired? Your voice should follow the situation. That is how English starts sounding alive. Micro challenge. Copy the attitude. Say this. No way. First, surprised. No way. Again. No way. Now doubtful. No way. Again. No way. Now calm. No way. Excellent. You just practiced something grammar books rarely teach. Emotion.